everyone and welcome to my Unreal Engine 4 tutorial series. And today what we're gonna make is a realistic sprinting system. So whenever you press your left shift to do sprinting, your player speed will gradually increasing and the animation would change accordingly. So you will see your transition effects. So let's get started. So how do you gonna do that? So let's first add an input. So on your settings, the project settings, there is an input. Let's add an action mapping for it and we're gonna say it's sprinting. So sprint, and the key would be left shift because most of the game use that. After that, just close that out and save. And in your player's animation, if you are using Unreal Engine's third person default map, you're gonna see this mannequin folder. Inside that, inside the elements, you're gonna see this third person blend space. It is one dimensional 1D, but if you are using 2D, it doesn't actually matter that much. So just open that up and it will open like this. So we have a minimum speed of 0 and maximum gonna go up to 375, and you can see these 4 diamond shaped icons. So this diamond shape is first is this animation of idle, this is the animation of walk, and this is the animation of run. And this green icon you can just drag and drop like this, and you can see this little transition. So whatever our player speed is, it will transition like this. So when right now your player's current maximum walk speed is 300. So you're gonna see whenever you press WASD, you're gonna get speed like this. Your player would run like this, but we don't need that. So what we're gonna do, if we hit WASD, our player would walk something like this. And if our player speed is when we press left shift, then it will gonna run like this. So how do you gonna do that? So on your axis setting, you can see this horizontal axis settings. Just click on this arrow to open that up, and the minimum axis should be 0, but the maximum axis should be your maximum sprinting speed. So let's say my player's maximum sprinting speed would be 800, and add a grid nodes to add number of grids to, let's say, 8. So it will gonna divide these grids into 8 part, you can see. So if our player's speed is 300, then I want to walk. But if so, just drag this and attach it to here. So you can just drag and attach it to wherever you want. So if my player speed is 300, I wanna walk, and if my player speed is increased, so I wanna run. So just save and close this, and open your player's character in here, and remember we have added a action mapping for sprinting, the left shift. So add that sprint, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a variable for that. So let's name this variable walk speed, and this would be a float. Hit compile and add the default walk speed to whatever the speed you want to walk. So I want to walk on my 300 speed. So compile, save, and make a function, not a function, macro. Make a macro, and let's name this macro to, let's say, sprint. And we want inputs, so add an input called do sprint, and the type of the input is, sorry for that, do sprint. Okay, just hit sprint, sorry for that. And the type of this sprint would be execute, the exec node. Also add another called don't, so do not sprint. And after that, on your event graph, remember we have made this sprinting, so just grab this macro to here, and on your whenever we press our left shift, it gonna sprint, and when we release, it won't sprint. So let's make another variable called is sprinting, and the type of this variable will obviously be a boolean. So boolean will return you a true or false node. So if our player is sprinting, then we're gonna set this to true, and if it's not sprinting, then we're gonna set this to false, just like this. After that, let's set our walk speed. So if our player is gonna sprint, then our what would be our walk speed? So our walk speed would be, let's say, multiply by 3. So float multiplied by 4. So our walk speed would be increased by 3 times. And after that, add clamp float. So clamp, we're gonna clamp this value. So clamp float, what is clamp is? So we're gonna see this minimum and maximum value. So maximum value, let's say 800. So if our player's value is multiplied, and if it's greater than 800, then it will take 800 as its value. So if our player's value, our walk speed is exceed from this maximum value, then it will take 800, and if it also exceed from this minimum value, it will take 0, and set this to here. And after that, set this to our true branch. Just copy that, Control W to duplicate that, and in here we're gonna make this for our false branch also. And in here what we're gonna do, we're gonna minimize and maximize. Both value would be 300, I mean the walk speed whatever you want, and the interpolation speed would be 0.5. because you want to change this whatever you want. I find 0.5 a very gradual approach. After that, create another macro called check sprinting. So it will check if our player is sprinting or not, and it will just gradually increase our sprint. So what we're gonna do, just grab this character movement, it is in your inherited, and get maximum walk speed, and we're gonna interpolate this. So right click and add f interrupt to node and attach it to here, and your target speed would be your walk speed. So get and attach it to here. The delta time would be your game's delta time. So get world delta seconds, and interrupt speed would be whatever you want, but just it would be between 0 and 1, so you can find, you will get a very beautiful transition effects. After that, grab this character movement we have just made, it is actually inherited, and set the maximum walk speed to the return value of this f interpolation node, and add this to output by just dragging and dropping it to output node. Same for this input. Hit compile and save, and now after this done, we are good to go. So on your event graph, you can see this mouse forward axis and mouse right axis. So between that, add this check sprinting node, I mean check sprinting macro. So let's just add that. So if it's sprinting, then it will gradually increase your walk speed. Just added, and let's see how this looks. So if right now I'm walk, our player would walk, but if I sprint, then it will gradually increase the sprinting, and if I release this left shift button, then it will gradually decrease. So you can see that. Okay, so this is all for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching, and bye bye.